So, good morning, Kelly. Good to meet you.
And you?
I'm Jeremy. I've come from Noble HR Consultancy, where I work as a mediator.
Okay.
So I don't know how much you know about mediation, but your participation in mediation is voluntary.
Okay.
And as a mediator, I do not take sides. So I'm impartial between both parties, completely non-judgmental. And my role is to help you understand the issues and concerns that you have, and to try and enable you to come to some solutions. So I ain't going to find the solutions, it's up to you to sort of cover common ground and see where we can end up. Alright?
Yes.
So, just to kick off, what's been happening?
Basically, I've requested some flexible working. I've got 2 young children that are just coming up to school age.
Right.
Whereas I used to have a nursery that would keep them till 6 o'clock at night, then that is not now an option. With them starting school in September, they're going to need to be picked up at 3:15 every day. And my flexible working request has been denied.
Right.
My main issue is within my contract and handbook, it clearly stipulates I've got the right to request flexible working. And I don't see a valid business reason why my request has been denied.
Right. Okay. So who's made this request?
I made a written request to my team leader.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I would have expected them to take a week or so to think about it, but it was just only a couple of days and the request was denied.
So who's your team leader?
It's Bruce Noble.
Bruce. Okay. By the way, if I can just explain, the reason I am taking notes is just so that I can make sure I understand all the detail of what you're telling me.
Right, okay.
But as far as I'm concerned, what you're telling me here is confidential.
Okay.
And I wouldn't pass it on anywhere else unless without your permission.
Okay.
Alright. So you put a written request into
Yes.
Bruce as per the terms and conditions
Yes.
of your employee handbook,
Yes.
and it was immediately rejected.
I wouldn't say immediately as in that day, but
Mhm.
a couple of days, 2 to 3 days, and it was rejected.
And what were the reasons given to you for that rejection?
Basically that the business wouldn't run properly with me working within them times. He said that he needed me on site up until 5:30 every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that my job wouldn't be fulfilled if I wasn't there till 5:30 every day.
Right. So you're needed every day till 5:30.
Yes.
But your kids finish at 3:15,
Yes,
don't they?
exactly.
Mm.
And I have a bit of an issue as I am aware that other colleagues have been their flexible working requests have been accepted
Really?
for their children.
I see.
And I understand I have a different job role to other people, but as far as I'm concerned, my job can be fulfilled with me working until 3:15. I believe that the work I need to do will be done within them times.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see his reasoning behind denying my request.
So how do you feel about all this, Kelly?
A bit angry. I mean, I used to have some family support that could pick the children up as well, but their jobs have changed, and they're unable to support me. And of course, I wouldn't like to quit my job, but I don't see any other way of getting the children picked up. I've got to do it.
So you're saying that with changes in the support system within your
Yes.
family, it's up to you now to pick the
Yes.
kids up,
Yes.
and you feel you may have to quit?
I wouldn't like it to come to that. I do think that a bit of work-life balance would be better,
Mm-hmm.
and I do think this company is in a position to offer me a better work-life balance.
So that's one of the key things you'd be seeking
Yes.
through this
Yes.
mediation.
I believe that my benefits, work-life balance is part of my benefits package. We don't get a lot of other financial rewards, so I would like this.
And is there anything else you feel you need to tell me about this situation?
I just feel like my voice is not being heard in this. I don't feel like considering my reasons for my request. I feel like I'm just being ignored in some way.
What makes you feel that?
Because I feel like I'm just getting to know if the business won't work properly with them hours, and I don't think they're listening to me as a qualified person to do my job. I don't think they're listening to my point of view. No one knows better how to do my job than me, because I've been doing it for the last couple of years. My team leader doesn't do my job, so I think that obviously if I say it can be done, they shouldn't just listen to me, but I think further investigation would be beneficial.
Yeah. And how would you like things to be?
I would like a bit of give and take, to be honest. I'm not expecting them to give and me to just not give anything back to the business. I know that wouldn't work. But I would expect them to come to some sort of an agreement,
Right.
if they can.
So am I sort of hearing that you are prepared to negotiate
Yes,
and to give something?
If we can find out a way to make this work so I'm able to pick my kids up at 3:15 every day, I'm quite happy to do that. Even if it means working weekends at some point, or coming in early at some point, I'm more than happy to do that. I just have no other option than to pick my kids up at 3:15 every day.
Okay. Alright. So, do you feel you've had a good opportunity to just share with me
Yes.
the main issues and
Yeah.
concerns that you have?
Yeah. I'm quite happy here, but I'd like a bit of give and take.
Okay. So in terms of moving forward, I'm going to have a session with Bruce to find out what his issues are and what his concerns are about this matter. And then what I'd like to do is bring you both together,
Right.
hopefully to talk through the issues and maybe come to some negotiations and compromised agreements.
Great.
How does that sound?
A bit intimidating, but if we can get this sorted, then I'm willing to do anything, really.
Certainly when it comes to a joint meeting, respect is very, very important, and you will be given an opportunity to air your views without interruption.
Okay.
And likewise, Bruce will be given the same opportunity.
Okay.
And I will be there to facilitate that session and to raise and just crystallise the key areas for discussion.
Okay.
So do you have any questions about the process going forward?
I mean, do these things usually settle them, are able to be rectified? Are people able to sort through their differences normally?
It depends on each person's perspective, but often I find by bringing people together and gaining an understanding of each other's views and feelings, that compromised agreements can be reached.
Great.
Good to meet you,
And you?
and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning, I'm Jeremy.
Hi Jeremy.
And I've come here today in my role as mediator
Right.
to meet with you, to listen to you. Okay, so as a mediator, my role is to be impartial, non-judgmental, and I understand that your input here is entirely voluntary. That's throughout the process. And what you tell me at this stage is totally confidential.
Okay.
Alright. But it's an opportunity for me to help you identify the main issues relating to the request from Kelly
Yeah.
for flexible working. And I
Okay.
appreciate that you have thoughts about this in terms of your position in the business too.
Yeah.
So, just sort of, where do you want to kick off?
Well, where do you want to start? I mean, I don't know. I don't know who you've spoken to or whatever's happened. But
Well, I've had a meeting with Kelly
right.
already,
Okay. Yeah.
and I've listened to Kelly,
Right.
and she's had an opportunity to tell me her side of the issues.
This is regarding the flexible request.
Yeah,
Okay.
and now I'm meeting you initially to find out your version of the situation,
Okay.
and then ideally what we'll be doing next after this meeting is to come together in a joint meeting and hopefully discuss some common ground.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so where do you want to start? We're obviously a very small team, working obviously under a lot of pressure, but like we all are, I suppose. Everybody will say that. I understand the need for flexible working. I'm trying to be flexible as much as I can, but obviously the business dictates that at certain times I need people on site. Kelly's hours at the moment, I think she works 9:15 till 5. And between the hours of 4 and 5, they're critical times, especially with customers ringing in. So her request, I think, is to finish at 3 o'clock. That puts me a person down for those last 2 hours. Not so much the first hour, but that second hour between 4 and 5. We take some of our most important calls at that time of day, if you like, before close of business or whatever. So to let Kelly have that hour off would cause great problems within the department, not only for me, because obviously I'd have to come in and cover, but for other people within the department as well, which is a pressure, and I don't know how we'd manage without it, to be honest, without it doing that hour.
I see. So what hours does Kelly work at the moment?
9 to 5:30.
And how many people work in your department, Bruce?
We have 5.
So what actually happened when Kelly made the request for flexible working?
She approached me 3 or 4 weeks ago to tell me that as of September,
Yeah.
new school year, that her kids would no longer be at nursery, they're going to big school. So at the moment I believe the nursery keep them till 6 o'clock, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously at school they don't work those kind of hours, so she's saying that she'd have to finish at 3 o'clock to
Yeah.
pick the kids up. Now obviously I appreciate you have to do that, but at the end of the day I've got a department to run. And I'm flexible, but there are limits.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So she made the request, and how did you respond?
Well, as I said, obviously I understand the need for flexibility, I understand the issues, but obviously you've got to appreciate my side of the story where I have issues, where I have targets to meet, we have figures to meet, and the company sit on me and expect me to produce, but if I haven't got the support in place, it causes me problems.
I see.
And I also know that I cannot afford to take somebody else on, because there's extra costs involved as well. Then obviously I've got to train them up,
Yeah.
get them up to speed. I appreciate now if I can get someone in July, but I'm not allowed to take anybody else on. Obviously the climate is at the moment.
Right. So that's another barrier too.
It's a big barrier, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, how's this affecting you and your department, in your opinion?
Affecting it at the moment, I'm just not, because obviously she's working the hours that she's supposed to be working, but you hear murmurings, people saying, oh, it's alright, she's allowed to get this, she'll be getting the time off, or the other people say, well, you should give the time. It's very mixed. Some people, the people without kids perhaps, are saying, well, why is it I have to do all the extra hours, why do I have to do the extra work?
How do you feel about it all?
I'd like to be able to say you can have it, but you know, it's my job is I've got to produce, I need to have people in to produce, and Kelly is one of my key performers.
Is she?
Yeah, and if she goes, obviously I don't want to lose her. At the end of the day, I need someone to cover those hours. So really, yeah, but I don't know which way to turn.
So a solution would be important for you.
Oh, absolutely.
You're telling me you want to keep Kelly?
Yeah. We're not in the habit of getting rid of them. We like to keep people, we like to generate business, we like to nurture them and produce better people, but to do that, they've got to work the hours that I need them to work.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else that you feel it might be appropriate to share relating to the situation with Kelly?
Not really, no. And I am flexible. I mean, you speak to the bill, let them go. Flexible lunch times. You come in late, you work late, you come in early. It's all that kind of stuff. It's just in this instance, because it's the core time, I cannot just say, yeah, that's fine, we can do it.
Yeah.
And then I can cover, but I'm not always in the office between the hours of 4 and 5 because I have seeing clients. So if I have to come in, it restricts my ability to go out and earn money for the company.
Right.
So again, that's, if you like, it's a double whammy. I lose both ways.
I understand what you're saying. So with Kelly's request for flexible working, you've identified that between 4 and 5 is a critical time
That's
in
the key
your
hour. That's the
business.
key hour, really.
And to lose her during that particular period is going to have an adverse effect on the business.
Yes,
But you would like to try and find a solution,
absolutely.
and you've stated that you are a flexible person. And
Yeah,
you'd
I'd like to
treat
think
people
I
in a
am. I'd
flexible
like to think
manner.
I am, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything you've shared with me just now that you wouldn't want me to relate back to Kelly if we were meeting together?
I don't think so, no. I think she knows where I stand on this. And, yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
So what we need to do now is arrange a suitable time for us to come together and try and reach
Okay.
a solution.
Where would that be then? Where do you do that?
We're going to do that here in
Okay.
the workplace,
Right.
in a private office.
Okay.
And in that particular situation, you will get an opportunity to voice your views, your opinions,
Okay.
and likewise Kelly will get the same opportunity. So when you're each having your talk about the issues and how they affect you, listening and respect is of paramount importance.
Right. Okay.
But I'll set some ground rules at the outset of the meeting.
Okay. So anybody else from the company involved in this?
Nobody else, and as I say, I'm an independent mediator,
Right.
totally impartial.
Okay.
So I'm here to try and facilitate that joint meeting now and to get you to come together and to try and identify some mutually agreeable solutions.
Right. Okay. So when do you think this meeting would be?
I'd like to progress with the meeting as soon as possible. So
Okay.
just looking at when your business can afford to allow that meeting to take place, really.
Okay. That's fine.
Good, thank you, Bruce.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Morning, Kelly
No problem.
and Bruce, and this is our joint meeting. So just to kick off, if I can just set the scene and just remind you that as a mediator, I'm here purely to assist you through the mediation process.
Okay.
I'm not here to make any judgments or to give advice. And for the first part of this meeting, I'm going to give each of you the opportunity for what we call uninterrupted time. So that's your opportunity to voice your thoughts, your feelings, and to bring the issues affecting this dispute to the table.
Okay.
And during that uninterrupted time, I would ask the person listening to listen respectfully without interruption, please,
Okay.
because you will both get that opportunity for your uninterrupted time. Once we've listened to each of you, we will then progress the meeting by identifying the issues that we need to discuss and explore, and then I'm hoping we can proceed and reach some common agreement.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright. So, being a gentleman, we'll go ladies first, if
Yeah,
that's
fine.
okay with
Yeah,
you,
happy with
Bruce. So, Kelly, this is your time, please, just to bring the issues affecting this dispute to the meeting.
Okay. Basically, I don't feel my request has been considered properly.
So this is your request for...
Flexible working, yeah. I don't feel I understand the business reasons. I don't feel they're valid. I also am a little bit annoyed, shall we say, that I feel that other colleagues have had different requests accepted, and I feel mine has been unjustifiably rejected. That's basically how I feel. And I am feeling a little bit upset about it, to be honest with you, because I feel that I put a lot of effort into the business. I feel that over the last couple of years I've worked very hard to be at the position that I'm at, and I feel that my views on my job role should be considered. I mean, I know how to do my job, and I feel that the company should understand my views and understand that having children is a big part of my life. I love the business, but I love my home life as well, and I feel that work-life balance should be appreciated and should be considered in this situation. And I don't see a way around keeping my job and working till 5 and basically ignoring my children, because I feel that's what I would be
Nice of you
doing.
to ignore your children.
Bruce, this is Kelly's time, please.
I feel that my children would be. I can't see a way of getting my children picked up at 3:15 and me working till 5. I feel that my children would suffer from that. It's important I'm a part of their everyday life, not an evening and weekend mum. I have to do my job. I understand that my job is important to my home life. If I don't have a job, my children don't have the best life, but they need me as well, and I feel like I can fulfil my job and be at home with my children, and I don't feel like I'm getting the opportunity to do this, and I don't feel I've had the opportunity to even express these opinions. I feel like I've been shut down at the first hurdle. I feel like I haven't been given the opportunity to express my views, my concerns, and I feel like I haven't been heard, basically. That is my problem.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. So really what you're saying is that your children, your family life is very important to you, but you also value your job that you hold well too.
Yes.
And you are looking for a solution here.
Definitely, yes.
And what's really sort of irking you is the fact that you don't feel you've had the opportunity so far to be listened to.
Definitely, I'd say that's a very valid point.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Bruce.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity now. So Kelly, if you could please allow Bruce to share his views.
Obviously Kelly came to me requesting this, and I said obviously no. She's well aware that between 4 and 5 is the critical time in the office. She knows it's only 5 of us there. It's difficult. I mean, I'd love to say I appreciate the kid things. Absolutely, I support you 100%, but you know, I've got a department to run, I've got figures to meet. Work-life balance is great, but I need people at the core time. I've no other choice. That's the situation I'm in. That's when the business needs to kick in. That's when we need to do it. I need her here.
But other requests have been granted.
Kelly, this is Bruce's time.
Other requests have been granted, but that's people coming in at different times, but they're still there between the hours of 4 and 5. It's the core time. Everybody understands that in the department. That's really, I mean, I believe I've listened to it, I've understood it, I've empathised, I know the difficulties with the kids picking them up, but I have a department to run. And if I gave in to everybody's request for everything, I'd have nobody there. And yeah, great, everybody wants to work between 10 and 2, fantastic, but the business doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Nothing. That's the situation. I've gone through the figures, I've gone through with my bosses and said, no, you've got to produce. How else do I produce if there's no one there between 4 and 5? That's when I need them.
Okay, Bruce, thank you.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing there is that you appreciate the value that Kelly has for family life.
Absolutely, and she's great.
Work-life balance.
Yeah.
But your decisions are being based here purely on business need.
Yeah.
They're driven by what happens within your department on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely right.
All right, thank you. So, you both had the opportunity to share your views and your thoughts now. Just sort of considering then what we need to discuss going forward. I think that Bruce, you're talking about the core time between 4
Yeah.
and 5 as being really critical
Yeah.
to the department. So do you agree, Kelly, that
I
is
agree,
something
it's
that
critical.
needs to be discussed and explored?
Yes, it's critical to the department, but within my job role, I feel that it's not so critical, that we could get the job done if I maybe dealt with clients at a different time of day. I know my clients would be more than happy to go without the 4 to 5, shall we say.
Okay. So that's something we could explore.
Hopefully, yes.
Together. All right. Kelly, you did sort of state the fact in your time that you don't feel you're being listened to.
Yes.
Would you agree that now you are being given that opportunity through
Yes.
mediation,
Yes.
and that we are actually meeting that
Yes.
need in this process?
Yes.
Right, okay. So are there any other issues then that we need to explore together now, besides the sort of the working times and this critical 4 to 5 from your perspective?
I mean, I would just like to explore the fact that we don't have a rewards package as such here. So I feel that not getting financial rewards or any other type of rewards, the work-life balance could be a reward from the work I put into the organisation. I know it seems like a bit of it, like I'm being selfish, but I want the organisation to understand that family is important to me, and if they respect the work that I do and the input I put into the organisation, which is, I believe, is quite valuable, then this could be a solution to making me feel happier in my work. I'd be even more motivated to come into work, because I know I'd be able to get the time off with my children as well, so I'd be a happier individual, a more motivated individual.
Okay, thank you. So we'll talk about core hours, we'll talk about work-life balance.
Okay.
Are you happy with that, Bruce?
I'm happy, as long as I get my cover 4 to 5. I know you hear what you're saying about we're going to move clients. How do you know your clients are going to move and accept you working between those hours?
All right. Let's kick off then with core hours. So just sort of starting to think about the hours. Kelly, when I first met you in our initial meeting, you talked about your willingness to give and take.
Right.
So what exactly did you mean by that statement?
I meant I'm not expecting the organisation to cut my contract by 2 hours every day and be done with it. I'm willing to give more, change my hours, be flexible a little bit. I'm willing to give back to the business to meet their needs.
So are you saying that you're actually willing to work a similar number of hours?
Yeah, I'm
but
definitely.
you're just looking to perhaps shift them around?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Now, Bruce, I know you value Kelly.
Yes,
You told me when we initially met that she's one of your key performers. They were the words that you used. And you also told me that you are a flexible person. And I think Kelly echoed that when she said you have been flexible with some of her colleagues.
Yeah.
And you actually mentioned that, yes, the reason you were flexible with them was it didn't have perhaps such a major impact on those core business hours of between 4 and 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So just sort of thinking on that, you say there are 6 people in this office.
Yes.
So there's yourself as the line manager,
Yeah.
and you've got 5.
That's right.
5 in your team. So the key hours we're looking at here are between 3 and 5. Yeah. So how many people will you need in your office between 3 and 4?
Between 3 and 4. Yeah, I could probably do 4.
Okay. So you can actually do without Kelly between 3 and 4. If push came to shove.
Do without, obviously there are issues there, but yeah, it's the 4 to 5 is the critical.
Right. So between 4 and 5, you would need how many people?
I need a full team.
You need a full team of 5 people.
Yeah.
So that's really the critical time, isn't it? Between 4 and 5. So is that time critical for you every day of the week, Kelly?
No, I do have a family member that finishes work at 3 on a Tuesday, so she could easily pick the kids up on Tuesday from 3.
On a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday.
Right.
I could probably make a similar arrangement on a Thursday.
Right. So in actual fact, we're now looking at Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays as being 3 key days for you when you really need to be at school
Yes.
by 3:15 to pick your children up.
Yes.
So Bruce, we've got those 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I know that 4-5 time is core for you, you've told me.
Yeah.
It's core to the business need. I appreciate you told me as well that you're under a lot of pressure. Is there any way around that, in your opinion?
Obviously, that is the critical hour in the day, the 4 to 5, where I need the full cover. I appreciate 2 days a week you could possibly do that, but I've got a gap obviously for 2 days a week now.
Right.
And it's continuity and getting it to work and getting people to work with us as well. So yeah, I appreciate the 2 days a week you might be able to do something, but I've still got those 3 days that I've got to cover off.
What do you do between 4 and 5?
I'm usually out at meetings and meeting with clients.
Right. And how critical is that between 4 and 5?
It's critical if the client needs to see me. If they're stressed, they need to see me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I prefer not to go out at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, so I like to be in the office. Obviously, the travel time and everything, but sometimes, needs must, you have to do it.
Mm.
I have to be out there because it generates business.
Mm.
And obviously, if we don't generate the business, we've no hours to talk about.
I mean, if push came to shove on some days, I'm not saying that we'd have continuity in this, but it is a possibility that I could pick my kids up at 3 and be able to drop them off at family members that don't drive and can't get them there, and be back in the office between 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
But that means I'm out the office between 3 and 4. And again, that can only that's something that I can't promise every day, 5 days a week, well, the 3 days a week needed.
Yeah.
So in there lies a problem in itself, that when I can't do it,
Mm-hmm.
are we able to cover that?
I mean, obviously, I couldn't hold you to doing that every time. That would help if you could do that from time to time.
Because you also mentioned you're willing to work
Earlier.
earlier.
I can definitely come in. There is not a problem any day of the week with getting my children to school. That can be covered for me 5 days a week. So I can be in the office from 8 o'clock every morning if need be. That is totally fine by me.
I mean, that's fine, but obviously, if it's not busy that time of day, whether you can cover someone else's work off to help them, to free them up for later, that might work. I'd have to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I've no extra hours, but I've got to get people to cover the 4 to 5.
Right.
That might something I have to look at.
So we've got a situation then where there is some light, but you both need to sort of go away perhaps and consider and see if things will work out for you. You are looking at ways of rejigging the sort of the 8 to 9 o'clock period. You feel that there might be opportunities on certain other days.
Well, obviously, I've got to speak to other people to see about how they can fit in. So obviously, it's going back to other members as there to see if they're prepared to work in that way as well.
Right.
I can't just rock the boat and let everybody fall out, but everybody hopefully working together. So I'm normally between 4 and 5 out seeing clients, at meetings, client meetings. That's the time. And having said that, when you think about it, break it down, I could possibly try and move that so it wasn't actually impacting on that hour.
Right.
Obviously, I'd rather do that because travel, obviously, you don't want to be travelling, coming back at 5 o'clock, it's a nightmare. So if I could do that earlier, if it works for the business, yeah, that could work.
Okay. So are there any other times a day if you were to do that, that maybe there'd need to be some cover for you?
I mean, I wouldn't be adverse to doing it first thing in the morning. It's whether the clients can do it. Obviously I have to speak to the clients, because that might be able to help if Kelly could cover a couple of mornings early, so I could go out early twice a week, and then obviously be still flexible to do the 4 to 5s 3 days a week. That might work.
With my childcare arrangements, it's very possible. Well, in fact, I know I could do 8 till 9 in the mornings. That's no problem at all.
So we seem now to have some sort of balance on both sides in terms of meeting both your needs then?
Yeah, possibly. Obviously I've got to look at the logistics of it.
Yeah. But it sounds as if we can allow you to take that time that you need to pick the children up, and by bringing you back in, Bruce, between 4 and 5 for that crucial core time,
Yeah.
you could recompense earlier in the day.
Yeah, if possible. Yeah, I can look at it. But obviously it's got to stack. I can't just say yes. It's got to stack up, obviously.
Yeah.
Can't impact on the business.
And then that will be giving you the work-life balance
Yes, that I require.
that you need.
Yeah.
All right. How's this sounding?
Very good from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, if logistically, if it works, yeah, I'm happy to try it. Possibly could even look at it on a trial basis to see if it works. So obviously the most important, obviously Kelly with the kids is important, but obviously our customers are important as well, so without them we don't have anything to worry about.
So you'd be comfortable to commit to that
Definitely.
agreement?
Yes.
Bruce, do you appreciate the need to just dot the I's, cross the T's,
provided
but in
it's-
principle?
Provided it doesn't impact adversely on the business, yes, I'd be happy to look at it.
Excellent. And then just sort of thinking ahead, thinking towards the future too, this situation could occur again, couldn't it?
Possibly.
Mm.
Children's needs are ever changing.
Indeed. And you did say last time that you did not feel you were being listened to.
Yeah.
And you wanted an opportunity to explain your opinions, your feelings, your points of view.
Yeah.
So, you know, next time if this did occur, how could this situation progress? What would you want? What would you like to see?
I feel personally that if this sort of process had happened the first time, obviously without having to bring in the outside help, the situation may not have got this far, may not have got this tense, and may have been rectified a lot sooner. If we could have sat down face to face and ironed out our differences, shall we say.
So you'd like the opportunity to have a face-to-face meeting?
Yes, I feel just handing in a piece of paper and getting it back is a bit, you don't really get to get your point across from both sides.
Okay. What about you, Bruce? What would you want?
And yeah, I'd love not to get this far, obviously, because it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Time's the big thing. Yeah, it would have been great to sit down and do this, but logistically we didn't physically have the time to sit down and discuss this. That's like most things, you say you do it, it keeps going on the back burner. You coming in, obviously I was told there was a certain time we had to be here, so it was penciled in, it was done. It's not so easy when you work in an environment, because you put it off, and then suddenly it is just, as Kelly said, it's bits of paper flying around, and you don't get the quality time to actually discuss it.
In principle, then you'd be willing to have a face-to-face session?
Absolutely, yeah.
Excellent. So I think we've reached some compromise there. That is a workable solution. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come along.
Pleasure, thank you.
And I do hope things progress as you move forward.
Okay. Thank you.